For millennia, the story of a devastating great flood and the legendary Noah's Ark has haunted human memory. But what if I told you that the version we know is merely a small piece of the puzzle? The Book of Enoch, an ancient and forbidden text, holds shocking details, a sealed truth about this cataclysm, a truth that could rewrite history. Did the Ark truly exist, or is it just legend? And does Enoch hold the key to its location? A secret the world is not yet ready to face. To unravel these enigmas, to touch the deepest layers of one of history's greatest catastrophes, we must turn to an ancient, powerful, and most controversial source, the Book of Enoch. This is not an unfamiliar name to those captivated by ancient mysteries, yet its true importance in illuminating the story of Noah and the Great Flood is often underestimated or even deliberately ignored. So, what does the Book of Enoch hold that could so completely change our perspective? Attributed to Enoch himself, the seventh patriarch after Adam, who walked with God and was mysteriously taken by God, this book is more than just a religious text. It is a treasure trove of cosmic visions, prophecies about humanity's destiny, and, most crucially for our present context, an astonishingly detailed account of the events leading up to and during the Great Flood. What makes the Book of Enoch a forgotten yet priceless key is its fundamental difference in explaining the cause of this global cataclysm compared to what is recorded in the canonical Book of Genesis. While Genesis focuses on the widespread moral corruption of mankind as the primary reason for God's decision to cleanse the earth, the Book of Enoch unveils a far more complex and terrifying picture. It does not deny human sinfulness, but points directly to a deeper origin, an event that violated cosmic order, the fall of a group of powerful angels known as the Watchers. According to Enoch, these very angels betrayed God, abandoned their heavenly positions, descended to earth, and were seduced by the beauty of human women. This forbidden union produced a giant, brutal race known as the Nephilim. It was the Nephilim, with their insatiable power and cruelty, who sowed terror, violence, and defiled the earth to an irredeemable extent. The Great Flood, from the perspective of the Book of Enoch, was not merely a punishment for human sin, but a divine surgical intervention aimed at annihilating the Nephilim race and cleansing the earth of the defilement they caused. This unique viewpoint offers a completely new depth to the story of Noah, transforming him from not just a survivor of a natural disaster, but a witness to a cosmic war between celestial forces and God's direct intervention in the primordial history of the world. But the distinctions of the Book of Enoch do not stop at the profound cause of the Great Flood. The very way it describes the scale and nature of the disaster, along with details about Noah's Ark, also contains unique, even shocking elements when compared to the narratives we are more familiar with. While the Book of Genesis describes the flood originating from the fountains of the great deep bursting forth and the windows of heaven being opened, the Book of Enoch seems to suggest an event of even greater cosmic significance, a disturbance of natural order on an unimaginable scale. There are descriptions of the storehouses of rain, dew, snow, and frost being opened uncontrollably, and even changes in the orbits of celestial bodies. It was not merely a prolonged rain, but a temporary collapse of natural laws, a comprehensive purification that erased almost all traces of the old world, especially those related to the Nephilim and the fallen angels. Another crucial difference the Book of Enoch provides concerns the fate of the Nephilim giants and the fallen angels themselves during and after the flood. While many traditions focus solely on the survival of Noah's family, the Book of Enoch describes the judgment reserved for the Watchers, their chaining and imprisonment in dark abysses until the final day of judgment. As for the spirits of the Nephilim giants, after their physical bodies were destroyed in the flood, they are said to have become a nomadic evil spirits, continuing to plague humanity. This is an aspect seldom mentioned in canonical texts, but plays a vital role in explaining the origin of evil and temptation in the post-Diluvian world from Enoch's perspective. Regarding Noah's Ark, although the Book of Enoch does not delve into specific dimensions or construction methods like Genesis, it emphasizes Noah's role as a chosen righteous man who received direct warnings and instructions from angels or from God himself about the impending disaster. This selection was based not only on Noah's virtue, but also because he carried a lineage undefiled by union with the Watchers. The Ark, therefore, was not just a means of physical salvation, but a symbol of the preservation of humanity's pure lineage. As we begin to look towards other ancient cultures, we find that the story of a destructive deluge and a surviving hero on an ark is not exclusive to the Judeo-Christian tradition. Echoes of a similar catastrophe resound from distant civilizations, bearing strange similarities, yet also fascinating differences, raising questions about a shared human memory. And as we delve deeper into these ancient narratives, the picture of a global event begins to emerge more clearly, though retold through the lens of different beliefs and worldviews. The Book of Enoch, with its unique details, does not stand alone in depicting a destructive flood. It is part of an ancient chorus where each culture lends its voice to a catastrophe that reshaped the world. Let us turn our attention to ancient Mesopotamia, the cradle of one of the earliest civilizations, the Sumerians. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, a great literary work dating back thousands of years BCE, we find the story of Utnapishtim. Much like Noah in the Book of Enoch and Genesis, Utnapishtim received a warning from the gods, specifically the god Ea, about a great flood about to wipe out humanity due to their clamor disturbing the other gods. He was instructed to build a massive ark, taking his family, craftsmen, and animals' design. Utnapishtim's ark also came to rest on a mountaintop after the waters receded. The similarity in the motifs of a chosen individual, a saving vessel, and destruction by water is undeniable. However, the reason for the flood, human nuisance rather than corruption by Nephilim and fallen angels, as in Enoch, reveals a difference in theological interpretation. Moving further east, to the Hindu tradition of India, we encounter the story of Manu, considered the progenitor of humankind in the current cosmic cycle. According to the Puranas, Manu was warned by the god Vishnu in his incarnation as the fish Matsya of an impending great flood. Matsya pulled Manu's boat, containing the seeds of life, through the raging seas until it rested on a Himalayan peak. Once again, the core elements of divine warning, a life-saving vessel on water, and the preservation of life are repeated, though the names of characters and mythological details are richly colored by Indian culture. These stories, along with countless other flood myths from ancient Greece, Deucalion and Pyrrha, indigenous tribes of the Americas, Australia, and Africa, pose a significant question. Are these merely random products of human imagination, or do they reflect a faint memory of a real event that impacted the globe? The Book of Enoch, by specifying the role of supernatural entities and a violated cosmic order, might offer a unique, more ancient perspective, explaining the prevalence of this flood motif. Is it possible that behind these cultural variations lies a common echo of a chaotic era and its purification, a historical truth mythologized over millennia? This question extends beyond comparing ancient texts. It has spurred countless explorers, archaeologists, and mystery enthusiasts on one of the greatest legendary hunts, the search for Noah's Ark. Does that colossal vessel, a symbol of survival, and a new covenant truly exist somewhere on this earth, waiting to be discovered? And does the Book of Enoch, with its unique revelations, offer any clues, however vague, to the location of this sacred relic? While the Book of Enoch does not provide a detailed map or specific coordinates leading to Noah's Ark, as some might hope, it, along with other Judeo-Christian traditions, often associates the Ark's resting place with a high mountainous region. Mount Ararat, a majestic volcanic massif on today's Turkish border, has long been the focal point of most searches. Legends and historical records, though not always reliable, have repeatedly hinted at sightings of an ark-like structure being lodged on Ararat's icy slopes. The search for Noah's Ark has gone through many phases, from tales of medieval explorers to more modern endeavors using advanced technology. Satellite imagery and remote sensing techniques have been deployed, capturing geological formations or anomalous objects on Mount Ararat and surrounding areas, sparking hope against then controversy. Some notable discoveries, like the Ararat anomaly, a dark, arc-like shape in satellite photos, have garnered public and scientific attention. However, accessing these areas is incredibly difficult due to treacherous terrain, extreme weather conditions, and political instability. Archaeologists have also found indirect evidence of massive ancient floods in Mesopotamia and the Black Sea region, which lends credence to the possibility of a real inundation event inspiring the stories. Yet, directly linking these floods to the Noah narrative and finding physical remnants of the Ark itself remains a colossal challenge. Much of the proof presented is often met with skepticism from the scientific community, attributed to natural rock formations, geological phenomena, or even hoaxes. Nevertheless, the Book of Enoch, with its emphasis on the cosmic scale of the flood and divine intervention, might suggest that the Ark was more than a mere wooden vessel. Could it have possessed supernatural properties, or been preserved in a manner beyond our current understanding? The search continues, and each new discovery, however small, ignites hope of deciphering one of human history's greatest mysteries. But perhaps the true significance of the story of Noah and the Great Flood, especially when viewed through the unique lens of the Book of Enoch, lies not merely in whether we find physical fragments of an ancient vessel. It resides in the persistent questions it raises, the deeper layers of meaning concerning the nature of faith, judgment, and the complex relationship between humanity, the divine, and cosmic order. The Book of Enoch, with its detailed accounts of fallen angels, the birth of the Nephilim, and a universe-cleansing flood, has bequeathed us a rich yet challenging legacy. It is not simply another version of Noah's story. It is an invitation to look further, deeper into the supernatural dynamics that may have shaped the primordial history of the world. Its role is not to entirely replace canonical texts, but to supplement, to pose questions that perhaps we have avoided or never thought to ask. Does focusing on the search for a physical ark cause us to miss the more critical spiritual lessons this story intends to convey? The Book of Enoch emphasizes corruption not only of humans, but also of angelic entities, a violation of sacred order on a grand scale. The Great Flood, in this context, becomes a stern warning about the consequences of transgressing established boundaries, about the dangers of abusing knowledge and power. And even if Noah's Ark remains an enigma buried deep beneath Ararat's ice, or within legendary pages, the questions raised by the Book of Enoch retain their value. Why does the story of a global flood appear in so many seemingly unrelated cultures? Is there some core truth, a collective memory distorted and reinterpreted over millennia, to which the Book of Enoch is one of the most ancient and clearest echoes? Ultimately, the role of the Book of Enoch in interpreting Noah's story doesn't just stop at providing additional details or a different perspective. It challenges us to expand our thinking, to accept that humanity's spiritual history may be far more complex and diverse than we are often taught. It reminds us that sometimes the forbidden or forgotten texts are precisely where crucial keys to understanding our past and perhaps our future lie hidden. The questions remain, inviting an unceasing exploration